Peace. Welcome. So welcome to the first episode of God Said Was Good. How you doing? I am your host. I am your guide for the moment. I am Tanisha, aka the Spirit Womxn with an X. Shout out to all my queer babies. Hey. I am the founder and CEO and creator of the Spirit Womxn Limited Co. and the Spirit Collective School of Spiritual Science. Hey y'all. This is a big day. God Said Was Good is, it's a passion project. It's a creative project. It's a love letter to all of my spiritualists, all of my Black and brown spiritualists out there in the world. And it's something that God told me to do. And so I'm just doing it. And I wanted to welcome you guys to the first episode of God Said Was Good. This show is such a very unique part of my being. It is a show that is here to offer to Black and brown and Indigenous spiritualists, new and seasoned, an opportunity to be witnessed, to be supported on your journeys of healing, expansion, joy, and reclaiming your spiritual gifts. The Spirit Collective School of Spiritual Science is a home to spiritualists who are looking to refine their gifts, understand who they are energetically, and then go do their gifts in the world. And it's a community where we get to really nourish each other. And so God Said Was Good was, the download I got around this was to offer this to other people so that people could also, anywhere you were in whatever part of your journey, if this resonated with you, you could find your joy, your peace, your spirit, and reclaim the messages that God got for you. So I'm happy to be here, and I hope you are too. And I cannot wait to get into today's topic. Okay, so here's how the show goes. Every episode you come on, there'll be a quick little intro. I did my big spiel because it just needs to be done because it's the premiere episode. But every episode that you'll come to this channel, or you'll come to listening. My computer and my workstation is here. You'll come to this video, or you'll come to this listening, and you'll tap in. And we're going to go through the blessing and the prayer that opens us up. And then we're going to go into the message. And then we'll close, and I'll send you on your way to be the great creator that you are and creative that you are, and God's child. Okay, so for our opening segment for today, I'm going to speak a blessing over all of you who are watching and or listening, depending on where you are. Okay, so if you can close your eyes just to be present with the prayer, feel free to. If you can't, stay where you are. You're totally fine. Okay, so it goes like this. Mother, Father, God, I want to thank you for just the creation that you have allowed us to be in. I want to thank you for allowing us to even exist here, to give us the spirit of creation that you also have, in which you have fostered this world that we're in, given us the gifts that we have, and given us the nourishment that we have. Right now, I speak a blessing and a prayer over every soul, every spirit that's tuned in, watching or listening to this episode here now. May their souls be alive. May their spirit guides, their ancestors, the beings that wish them well, join them now in comfort as they explore deeper concepts and deeper things and deeper parts of their healing, so they can go on their journey and be as fruitful as you want us to be. To all the ancestors and spirit beings and guides and angels that walk with the people who are listening to this or watching this, I pray that you cover them in comfort. I pray that every ear, every heart, every mind that's blessed by this show be nourished even that much more. And I pray that I remove my ego so I can be present in the work that you sent me here to do, nourishing this community, honoring this community, and honoring not only the community, but the path that we have to you as our creator, as our source. This episode, let it be a blessing. Let it be the rain, the mist, and the thing that everyone needed to go a little bit further, be a little bit more brave, and a little bit more relentlessly themselves. This is something more for the highest good of all souls destined to impact, including and especially our own. With that, we say amen. Some of us say ashe, and some of us say, and so it is. All right, y'all. So what's good? What's really good? So if you're wondering about the title, right? Your girl, I can hear spirits, I can see them. There's a bunch of gifts that I have that sometimes I just be talking to God. And I'm no different from anybody. You can also access your gifts and talk to God. If you want more information on that, you can click any one of the links in the bio and join the Spirit Collective, the School of Spiritual Science. But anyone can have these gifts and we can have this community. But I think a lot of times people think that they have to do the most to be a spiritual being. So God Said What's Good is like, the title of this show is about really kind of taking God from being this being of all up here and, she does her thing up here and we're over here, to bringing it here. Because a lot of times when we think that God has to be complicated or complex or leveled or tiered, she ain't. Okay? In my world, God's a she. She ain't. She wants to talk to you just as much as I want to talk to you, just as much as your homie wants to talk to you. And a lot of times God is speaking plain English, but you're just not listening. And so that's why, and then aside from that, I'm from Brooklyn, I'm Jamaican and Guyanese. So what's good is like my actual language. So God said what's good, right? This is what we're here to do. So today's message, today's lesson, today's little sprinkle and razzle dazzle is, the topic of the day is, God said start small. Now, I want you to let that like kind of resonate over you and really like sit with you and let it land in all the places that you want it to land. In the School of Spiritual Science, I work with Black, Brown, and Indigenous spiritualists who are accessing their gifts to help them put the tools down to step into their healing, their energetic alignment, right? What it means to clear energy in a real way, and access their gifts so they can use their gifts monetarily or purposefully to do their work, their part of contributing to our greater world. What I tend to come across when I am talking to clients, people who want readings, or clients of the school, or people who I come across who just have questions when they meet me, is I tend to come across people who want to do it all at one time. And God said start small, honey. People like to rush into spirituality because they are usually running away from religion, as if the two are completely different, and they're really not. But what I tend to find is that Black and Brown people tend to run away from whatever tradition that they grew up in to find spirituality. And when people do that, they tend to dive headfirst into the big energy work. They want to have big reactions. They want to have big changes and big shifts. Well, the human body isn't really set up that way. The brain, the physical brain that we have, and the body's response to the things that we have lived through, we aren't really built to like nosedive straight into healing in that way. And usually when people do that, they run so headfirst in, they tear themselves apart, they obliterate their sense of self, they end up not really standing on solid ground, and it disrupts the nervous system overall, and it causes overwhelm. And overwhelm can lead to burnout. It can lead to being shut down. It can lead to re-aggravating old traumas that you have healed or introducing new traumas, right? And something that we don't talk about enough is that if you were to just start small, right, with your healing and your integration, you would probably have a better pace that would get you to the other side of your spiritual journey, right? I have heard plenty of horror stories of people who have trusted this reader or trusted that reader and done shadow work, and then they've ended up in like the trenches, or they've done spiritual work and now they're saying prayers that they don't believe in and they don't know where that fits, or they have dismantled everything that they know, and now they're questioning their very identity as the being and the human that they are. God really kind of wants you to start small. Like, she wants you to start with small, incremental, energetic shifts that lead to longer lasting change and longer lasting activation of your spiritual being. Okay. What does that mean, Tanisha? What I'm explaining to you is that there is a science to spirituality. There is a science to being a spirit being in a human body and having a lived experience. And a lot of times people want to jump in because things are trendy and they seem really cool and they seem really fun. And sure, there are some aspects of spirituality that are fun in the sense that like you are one with your creator. If you have spirit guides, you know your spirit guides. That feels really securing. But this thing that's really trendy is to just dive in and harm yourself, and then you end up in places where you shouldn't be. You end up in traditions that spirit never called you to. You end up over-reliant on other beings and other humans to help you move through change and things, and now you don't remember your power, and that is where the danger lies. Y'all have to understand that the human body and brain is wired to protect you. So when you introduce change at too aggressive of a level or with no strategy, no plan to how that change should happen and how you will introduce changing things in a way that's sustainable, what can happen is the body will shut down. And then all of your lived experiences or your traumas, all of your lived experiences and your big traumas or little traumas will start to hijack, and you'll start to sabotage any any progress you would have made thus far. And so when you find a spiritual teacher, when you find a spiritual guide, or if you are going to embark on a spiritual journey, start small. My advice for all of you is to start with what you know. And this can be hard because a lot of times people want to like skip over. They don't want to go back to the Bible. If you're Muslim, they don't want to go to the Quran. They don't want to go where they want because they are running away from the dogma and the judgment and the shame that tradition might have given them. But a lot of times when people, instead of looking outward, you should be looking inward. And you should start with where you were rooted first. And what that means is if you prayed, maybe you should start to pray for clarity, right? If you were a girly that read the Bible, maybe you don't have a Bible now. Maybe you should go get one and see if maybe when you go get that Bible, you run into the person that you needed to meet. When you say that prayer, that maybe the words finally came and you know what to ask for. Start with the small things. Start with a journal, right? People devalue the good that journaling can do, but pen to paper, pen to scribe is like one of the oldest things that we have as human beings as we navigate this world, right? Getting your attention and your awareness from all the thousands of things and bring it to a centered place is probably the smallest place you can start, right? You can start with God. You can start with source. You can start with the creator, whatever language your tongue feels most comfortable with, as a way to start to access energy of this world. But again, of spirit. But again, you're wanting to start small. Start with what you know. It's good enough, right? Another thing too is before you go on these journeys, before you start diving into spirituality and touching a bunch of things and talking to a bunch of people, you should understand that you are already whole and complete. That probably should have been first. You are already whole, complete, and perfect. Now, why I say that is because this is something that I find a lot of my clients also struggle with, that when I give them a reading, they're coming to me with so much self-judgment and so much is despisement a word? But so much self-deprecating habits with themselves that it makes the work that I have to do, whether it's a reading or a clearing or a message that I have to deliver to them, people don't feel worthy of the things that they're receiving and the things that they ask for. And it's like, you have to be able to accept who you are. If you don't fully got it, just a little bit of acceptance about who you are is enough, right? Because then that opens a floodgate of you're no longer trying to like solve a problem or run away from who you've always been or run away from, what you think is enough or not enough. And so we have to get really good at, when we start small, we take these bite-sized chunks of our journey and our healing journey, Understanding that you are perfect, that all of your imperfections, so to speak, led you to this exact moment where you had the awakening to be like, I am ready to now get to know spirit, get to know God, and get to know the creator for myself. I am now ready to reclaim my healing for myself. I am now ready to navigate this journey as the spirit being in a human body. That acceptance of your imperfections is part of the roadmap. And in fact, when I'm talking to my students and my clients, I'm always reminding them, like, the thing that you have judged as bad and wrong and the wrong thing to happen to you at the wrong time, or whatever language you have used, is usually the exact container and ammunition that our creator, God, is going to use to help you turn your gifts on, activate them, and whatever you survived is usually what you're going to use to help other people survive, right? And that's how beautiful our creator is. So avoid the trap of like wanting to run away from something. Understand that you can start with what you know, what you're familiar with. That's enough. You can accept that you are perfect and whole and complete, and that anything that you do from this point forward is just to allow room for God to step in to your life, for the spirits to step into your life, for your ancestors to step into your life, for your angels to step into your life. And they're stepping into your life because you are worthy and you are deserving and you are at the exact right place. And they know that. And they accept that, and they are willing to meet you where you are because they needed the imperfections that you judge to be the exact catalyst for change. Because everything that our creator does with us is intentional and it's right on point and it's right on time. Let that sink in. So today's message is really about starting small, taking the benefit of, going to learn spirit and spirituality from the beginning, your beginning, not her beginning, not his beginning, not the beginning you saw on TV, but where were your roots? And then simply uttering a prayer most times to God is enough. Like, hey, order my steps, show me where to go, show me who I need to meet. And then following that, we'll talk more about some of those things later in bigger concepts, but that's really the message. You're doing too much, baby, and you're going to burn yourself out, and no one needs you to do that because we need you to be well. We need you to be well and ready and accepting of who you are, so that when you meet your mentor or you meet your teacher or you meet your guide, or you meet your student or you meet your mentee or you meet your tools and traditions, that you are ready, and that no one has to do the extra hard work of making sure that you remember that you are really a spiritual being, that you really do got this, right? And so if God was talking to you right now, she's saying, what's good, yo? Like, what's up with you? You thinking you small change, honey, and you not. So remember that. Remember that on your journey, you get to start small. Don't let nobody... The pats are coming out. Don't let nobody make you for small change, right? Don't make nobody make you feel small. For you to speak English, don't make anybody make you feel small for starting small. You have to introduce change to the body, to the mind, and to the spirit in a way that your mind and your body don't reject it. Don't sabotage it, okay? So you can do it, babes. I'm proud of you for listening to this episode. I'm proud of you for starting. And you can do it. You can keep going, and you can find greater and greater and better things. So give yourself permission to have that, okay? Give yourself full permission to have it. Okay, so let's close this out. I want you to repeat after me, okay? This is going to be our closing ritual for today's call, for today's podcast and video. Repeat after me. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I am in the right place at the right time. I trust the divine timing of my life. And I am open to receiving all that Spirit has for me. I now activate the God within me. I now see the God in others. I am a beacon and a light and a testimony of our Creator. And our Creator, my Creator, sees me as whole. Okay? I send you into the world. Anyone interested in becoming a student of the School of Spiritual Science, aka the Spirit Collective, the links will be in the bio. My link will be in the bio, in the description. And I'll see you guys next week. Okay? Peace. Also, what's good?